Alright, so I just want to tell you guys firsthand some of the things I saw, some of the things I heard secondhand while spending time in Rio de Janeiro. Before I get into these, I want to say Rio, hands up for Rio. Rio is one of my favorite cities in the world. Bah, no doubt about it. The people I met were fantastic. The city is beautiful. There's so many things to do. If you get a chance, visit. But there's one condition. I would say Rio's not for amateurs, not for beginners. If you've never been to South America and you want to backpack around, I wouldn't really start in Rio. It might scare you a bit. So yeah, let me get into the things that I saw. During Carnival, I crossed the street. 5 seconds later, I heard boom, boom. I looked back and I saw a man on the ground, not moving, and a bicycle next to him. My friends crossed the street right after this man got hit by a car and told me, oh, he got hit by a car. I didn't see it, but I heard it. The impact was heavy. The man was there still. And 5 seconds, 10 seconds after he got hit, someone ran by, whoop, snatched up his bike and kept going with it. So that was impressive. I don't know, the man got hit and they didn't wait even 10 seconds to steal his bike. And unfortunately, that man died. I saw on the news the next day. Yeah, I was staying with a family who love to watch the news every day. And so I saw a lot of crazy things there, which I'm also going to tell you about. Let's stick to the things I experienced firsthand. My last night in Rio, right before we went to Cantagallo and ate like kings, I was leaving the metro, going to the beach to meet my friend, and I heard someone scream, "Ladrón, ladrón," which means thief. And next thing I know, I see everyone swarming on the near the sidewalk. I couldn't see who they were swarming, what they were swarming, but I assume it was the thief. And next thing you know, you see a bunch of people kicking, bah, bah. And I kept going. I didn't really want to stick around because the police were arriving. There was a crowd of people making noise, and I wasn't trying to get shot or arrested or anything like that, so I kept going. But we had to come back to go to Cantagallo, and on the way back, maybe 10 minutes later, we walked past the two guys. So there were two thieves, and one of them was dead. The other one was covered in blood. His head was cracked open. He was not moving, but his eyes were open. He was breathing. On the floor next to his dead friend. And for me, this was shocking. Okay, he stole a gold necklace, but then they kicked him to death, and the police arrived and they did nothing about it. I guess they waited for the ambulance. The ambulance came and did their thing, and that was that. I don't think anyone got arrested, except for the thief who survived. The other guy, rest in peace, learned his lesson very briefly. And that was heavy and wild. So like I said, maybe Rio's not for amateurs. And I want to go back and restate, it is one of my favorite cities in the world. I've been around quite a bit. I had so much fun. But I think, keep your eyes open. Something I saw regularly were the police driving around with automatic weapons hanging out of the windows. Just driving around, the weapons just out the window. I can't deny that I thought many times, they hit a bump, or if that weapon gets hot, or who knows what happens, and it fires one off, that weapon could just take out any random person on the sidewalk in their apartment. So that was something I didn't really like, but I guess it's a power show, show who's in control of the streets. And I saw the other side too, the other authorities, if you will, going to some of the favelas. You can see all types of things. Saw a lot of weapons in the favela, weapons being handled by adolescents and people of all ages, above those ages. Not even in the favela, just in a normal street and a normal part of Rio where lots of tourists go. I saw people selling different types of drugs. Yeah. And in public, basically. No shame. People lining up to get what they wanted to get their products. At one point, I saw a guy pull out like a silver plated pistol, take some pictures on his phone, and then put the phone down and start counting lots of money. One night in one of the favelas, my friend Ahmad was drugged. I guess he accepted some water from some people, and after that his night kind of became a blurry mess. I saw a video of him dancing like a fool. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's kind of serious. Be careful if you're hanging out in downtown Rio or even in favelas. Don't accept drinks from strangers if they're open already, and don't put your drinks down in busy areas. There's been a lot of stories, and my friend experienced it firsthand of people putting drugs in drinks and drugging people, drugging tourists, taking their money or doing who knows what with them. So that was kind of scary experience for him and for us, his friends. Something that hopefully you guys can avoid with those tips. My first night in Rio, I stayed in a hostel, which is a strategy you guys might adopt. If you don't want to stay in a hostel long term, but you want to make friends, that's kind of what you do. You go there the first night, you meet the people who are there, you make friends, and you can continue going back, which is exactly what I did. Like my whole time in Rio, I went back to the hostel, I knew people there, the staff, got to meet the new tourists. And I think that during my month there, I met like 5 or 6 people who stayed at the hostel who had their phones stolen. Most of them during Carnival, but one had her phone stolen at the beach. Apparently by someone who was selling food. She just wasn't paying attention for a minute and disappeared. She thinks it happened at that time. Yeah, petty theft. Lots of petty theft. Other stories I heard on the news while there, a police officer was shot in the head while co-piloting a helicopter above one of the favelas. From the ground, they shot him in the head, and he went to the intensive care unit. I think they said that he's in stable condition now. Also, if you've seen my video of me like shooting taking the moto taxi home, that was a little terrifying. I was trying to get good views, but I didn't want to stick my hand all the way out, because I had just seen on the news like 2 days before a guy was riding his motorcycle home, and 3 guys on bikes and scooters, like motorcycles basically, they surrounded this guy and shot him in the back. And he was lucky in this case that he had his laptop in his backpack. The bullet lodged into the laptop and barely penetrated into him. So he survived. But yeah, in an attempt to steal the bike, they were willing to shoot him in the back. And yeah, I felt a little uncomfortable riding around with my camera. But other than that, a lot of violence in the favelas, you can see on the news. The police are there fighting every day. A little bit of racism, maybe. You can definitely feel the divide between like white and black. It's kind of also indirectly or directly, I'm not sure, correlates with rich and poor. At least in people's minds it does. A lot of people were afraid to walk past me on the sidewalk. Yeah, I experienced that everywhere. I wouldn't say that's special to Rio. But yeah, what you've heard on the news might be kind of true. There's violence, there's crime, there are drugs. But I don't know if they're telling you like the people in general, the general population is fantastic, helpful, conversational, outgoing, friendly. I wanted to make this video kind of to answer the questions of some of my students. I teach English online. A lot of them ask me like, oh, is Rio as dangerous as they say it is? Is Brazil as dangerous as they say it is? Things happen here that you might not see in your country depending on where you're from, or you might not see so frequently. but I had no bad experiences. And on that note, I'd like to leave you guys with some of the amazing and beautiful things I saw. I saw people of all ages dancing in streets, dancing in bars, and I really mean all ages. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen 80-year-old men and women breaking it down, as well as children, 2 or 3-year-old already with the rhythm in their bones, which is so cool to see. People celebrating and enjoying life. I saw world-class soccer skills by random people, men and women, boys, girls, on the beach. Playing on the beach is not easy, and a lot of people here have mastered this game. Lots of musicians, extremely talented, rhythmic musicians who know about harmonies, melodies, playing in groups. It's a great place if you like live music. There's so many rhythms here, and yeah, different dances as well. What other beautiful things have I seen in Rio? The city itself is full of trees, green spaces. You've got mountains scattered around through the city. Lots of smiles. I don't know if I've ever seen people smiling as much as they do, and I think that speaks to the Brazilian heart, the Carioca heart. Yeah, despite all the turbulence in the city and turmoil, people still manage to enjoy themselves, to go out and have fun. And that's what's up. Enjoy your travels, whether you be on vacation or if it's a lifestyle like mine. Yeah, be safe, have fun, meet the locals. I will go back to Rio. I loved it so much. Thank you to all of you who were there, who showed me around. Keep it weird. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to share it with someone, if I said some tips that might be useful, please share it with them. As travelers, we gotta stick together. Keep it weird.